So often we're told to keep our eyes on what others are doing, what they're achieving, saying, buying, creating as though we can map out our lives by looking around instead of looking within. But today, I want to challenge you to ignore all that. It's not about being cold or unfeeling, it's about something deeper and honestly, more challenging, focusing on yourself. Self-care has become a buzzword in today's society, yet its true meaning is often overshadowed by misconceptions. The essence of self-care is not about indulging or distancing oneself from others in a self-absorbed way. It's about genuinely nurturing our well-being so we can better navigate life and support those around us. Self-care is rooted in the understanding that we need to care for ourselves to show up meaningfully in our relationships, work, and personal growth. This means tending to our physical, mental, and emotional health in ways that strengthen us rather than isolate us. When done well, self-care is a grounding force that connects us to who we are, whereas self-absorption tends to disconnect us from the reality of others' needs and perspectives. At its core, self-care is proactive. It invites us to build routines and practices that allow us to recharge before exhaustion sets in. This could be a quiet moment in the morning to set intentions for the day, choosing nutritious meals, taking breaks to manage stress, or engaging in a creative hobby that brings joy. Self-care isn't about putting ourselves first in a selfish way. It's about recognizing when we need restoration to be present and engage with others. When we care for ourselves, we're better equipped to listen, empathize, and contribute fully, fostering a healthier and more authentic connection to the world around us. Self-absorption, however, centers exclusively on satisfying personal desires without much regard for how it impacts others. When we become overly consumed by our own needs, we risk losing sight of the interconnectedness that makes us human. This self-centered approach can feel isolating and often leads to a perpetual cycle of seeking validation or gratification without the lasting fulfillment that true self-care offers. The difference lies in intention. Self-care aims to uplift and maintain balance. It reminds us that we are part of something larger, that our actions contribute to the well-being of those we care about. Practicing self-care doesn't mean we're dismissing others. In fact, it allows us to contribute to others from a place of genuine strength and empathy. For example, taking time to manage stress may enable us to be more present parents, friends, or partners. Self-absorption, on the other hand, can narrow our focus to an almost exclusive concern with what's going well or poorly in our own lives, leading to tunnel vision that limits empathy. This is why self-care should be seen as a foundational act, allowing us to grow and stay balanced so we can lift others up as well. Self-care requires introspection and self-awareness. It calls us to recognize our triggers, acknowledge areas of improvement, and reflect on what truly replenishes us. This awareness prevents us from drifting into self-absorption, where our actions are motivated by ego rather than personal growth or collective well-being. In contrast, self-absorption is often reactive, fueled by the need to escape discomfort or fulfill impulses without considering the bigger picture. When we over-prioritize ourselves to the point of excluding others, we miss out on meaningful connections, feedback, and opportunities for growth. True self-care respects both ourselves and those around us, making it a practice that strengthens our connection with ourselves and others. It's about creating a healthy, sustainable way to approach life, in which we respect our own boundaries without neglecting our sense of community and empathy. Self-absorption lacks this balance, focusing solely on personal gain or relief, often at the expense of deeper relationships and inner peace. When we understand this difference, we can better appreciate self-care as a mindful, balanced practice that keeps us rooted, allowing us to embrace ourselves while still remaining open and generous toward others. Setting boundaries with purpose is essential for living a life that aligns with our values and priorities. Boundaries are not about creating barriers or shutting people out. They are about preserving the time, energy, and emotional space needed to engage fully and meaningfully with life. When we set boundaries, we make intentional choices that protect what we value most, allowing us to participate in relationships and tasks that genuinely matter to us. Boundaries create a clear framework within which we can thrive, giving us the freedom to nurture both our well-being and our connections with others. Purposeful boundaries help us distinguish between what we want to give and what we feel obligated to give. When we set limits thoughtfully, we're making a statement about what we are willing to invest in, choosing to reserve our time and energy for things that align with our values. This might mean saying no to additional responsibilities at work, deciding to limit screen time, or choosing not to engage in discussions that drain us emotionally. Purpose-driven boundaries are empowering. They honor our needs without diminishing our empathy or generosity. In fact, they enable us to give more genuinely because we're not depleting ourselves for the sake of saying yes. One common misconception about setting boundaries is that it's an act of selfishness. But purposeful boundaries are, in reality, an act of self-respect and respect for others. When we communicate our limits clearly, we reduce the chances of resentment or burnout, which ultimately benefits everyone involved. By setting boundaries, we're letting others know what they can realistically expect from us, which fosters mutual respect. For example, someone may establish a work-life boundary by setting specific times during which they won't answer emails, allowing them to be fully present with their family. This doesn't mean they don't care about work, rather. It's a choice to be more engaged and focused when they are working, which in turn enhances their contributions. Setting purposeful boundaries requires introspection and honest reflection. It calls for an understanding of our own triggers, energy levels, and priorities so we can recognize where we need support. For instance, someone who values personal growth may set aside dedicated time each week to read, meditate, or work on personal projects. This boundary reinforces their commitment to themselves and ensures they're building a life that reflects their true interests. Such intentional choices demonstrate that boundaries are about saying yes to what enriches us, rather than merely saying no to what doesn't. It's natural to feel uncomfortable setting boundaries, especially when it involves people we care about or respect. But purposeful boundaries do not diminish relationships, rather, they give relationships a healthier foundation. When we're clear about our limits, we allow others to understand us better, which strengthens mutual trust and respect. Setting boundaries also encourages others to set their own, promoting an environment where everyone feels secure and valued. By doing so, we cultivate relationships that are based on genuine connection rather than obligation or guilt. Over time, boundaries become a part of who we are, an expression of self-awareness and intention that guides us in making choices that honor our well-being. Purposeful boundaries serve as reminders to stay true to ourselves, to protect what's important, and to engage fully with life in a way that feels balanced and sustainable. Embracing self-discovery is an ongoing journey of exploring who we are, what we value, and what truly drives us. It's about looking inward and allowing ourselves to ask questions that might not have easy answers, but lead us closer to understanding ourselves on a deeper level. Self-discovery isn't about finding fixed definitions or final answers. It's about growth, flexibility, and the willingness to explore parts of ourselves that may have been overlooked or underdeveloped. When we open ourselves up to self-discovery, we begin to live with greater authenticity, aligning our lives more closely with who we are at our core, rather than simply conforming to external expectations or societal pressures. One of the fundamental aspects of self-discovery is developing an awareness of our values. Values are the guiding principles that inform our decisions, relationships, and priorities. By examining our values, we uncover what truly matters to us, whether it's integrity, kindness, creativity, or resilience. Knowing our values helps us navigate life with purpose. For instance, if we value honesty, we are more likely to engage in relationships and work environments that support openness and transparency. This alignment with our core values helps us lead lives that feel fulfilling rather than superficial. Without knowing what we stand for, it's easy to drift through life, swayed by the opinions and expectations of others. But with a strong sense of our own values, we have an internal compass that can guide us through challenges and choices with confidence and clarity. Self-discovery also involves recognizing and embracing our strengths and weaknesses. Often we focus on what we believe we should improve, fix, or change. While growth is essential, it's equally important to recognize our natural talents and the qualities that make us unique. Acknowledging our strengths enables us to build on them and use them as tools to achieve our goals. For example, a person who is naturally empathetic can leverage this skill in their relationships, offering support and understanding to those around them. At the same time, self-discovery invites us to face our limitations with compassion. Instead of seeing weaknesses as flaws, we can view them as areas for growth, accepting that imperfections are part of being human. This balanced approach allows us to develop a fuller, more accepting view of ourselves, promoting both resilience and humility. Self-discovery encourages us to pursue passions and interests without fear of judgment or failure. Exploring our curiosities, whether in art, sports, science, or personal development, gives us a chance to learn about ourselves in new contexts. These pursuits are not just hobbies, they're opportunities to grow, stretch, and discover our potential. Engaging in activities that resonate with us provides a sense of purpose and joy, helping us to develop a more robust sense of identity. By following these interests, we step into a journey that's uniquely ours, unaffected by what others deem worthy or valuable. In doing so, we create a life that feels authentic, exciting, and meaningful. A significant part of self-discovery is acknowledging that it's an ongoing process. As we grow and change, our understanding of ourselves deepens, revealing new facets and desires. Self-discovery requires us to remain open and flexible, letting go of rigid ideas about who we are supposed to be, and instead allowing ourselves to evolve naturally. This journey isn't linear or predictable. It involves moments of clarity, as well as times of confusion. But by committing to self-discovery, we invite a sense of curiosity into our lives, making each day an opportunity to learn something new about ourselves and our place in the world. By embracing self-discovery, we step into a journey of growth, purpose, and self-acceptance. This openness to learning about ourselves brings a sense of freedom and allows us to connect more deeply with our goals, dreams, and relationships. Self-discovery empowers us to live more genuinely, creating a life that reflects who we are and who we're continuously becoming. Letting go of the noise is about learning to release the constant influx of external opinions, pressures, and distractions that often cloud our minds and pull us away from our true selves. In a world overflowing with information, expectations, and judgments, our ability to tune out this noise is vital to finding inner peace and clarity. The noise can take many forms: social media comparisons, unsolicited advice, societal expectations, or the relentless internal chatter that questions our worth and decisions. To live with purpose and authenticity, we need to learn to separate what truly matters from what's simply noise, creating mental space to connect with our core values and desires. One significant source of noise is the pressure to conform to societal expectations and standards. We are constantly exposed to ideals about what success, happiness, and fulfillment should look like. These pressures are often reinforced by media, cultural norms, and even our own social circles. When we measure our worth or happiness based on these external standards, we lose sight of our unique paths and fall into cycles of comparison and self-doubt. Letting go of this noise requires us to question these imposed expectations and ask ourselves, what does success mean to me? What kind of life do I genuinely want to lead? By stepping away from these external pressures, we give ourselves permission to define our values and aspirations based on our personal beliefs, not on society's expectations. Another common source of noise is the constant comparison driven by social media and digital culture. Every day, we see curated glimpses into the lives of others, often portraying only their happiest, most successful moments. These highlight reels create a distorted view of reality, making it easy to feel inadequate or behind in life. When we focus on these comparisons, we lose the ability to appreciate our journey and the unique timing of our growth. Letting go of the noise here means recognizing the artificial nature of these portrayals and choosing instead to focus on our own progress and achievements. It involves practicing gratitude for our lives, staying grounded in our experiences, and allowing ourselves to grow at our own pace. The internal noise, self-doubt, criticism, and fear is perhaps the most challenging to silence. Often, these voices are fueled by past experiences or insecurities that create a constant narrative of not enough. This inner critic can be relentless, influencing our choices and holding us back from pursuing what we love or believe in. Letting go of this internal noise doesn't mean ignoring these thoughts entirely. It's about learning to observe them without letting them define us. Techniques such as mindfulness, journaling, and self-compassion can help us separate from this noise, giving us the power to respond to our fears and doubts with kindness rather than allowing them to control us. This process fosters a more nurturing relationship with ourselves, where self-criticism is replaced by acceptance and resilience. Letting go of the noise also involves reclaiming our time and attention. We live in an age of constant notifications, messages, and updates where being on 24/7 has become the norm. This digital noise can be exhausting, creating a sense of urgency that distracts us from the present and drains our mental energy. By setting boundaries around technology, such as designating device-free times, limiting social media usage, or prioritizing offline activities, we allow ourselves moments of quiet where we can reconnect with what truly matters. These intentional breaks from digital noise can offer clarity, allowing us to listen to our inner voice without distraction. Ultimately, letting go of the noise is an act of reclaiming our mental and emotional freedom. By consciously choosing what to engage with and what to release, we become better equipped to live from a place of authenticity and intention. This doesn't mean cutting ourselves off from the world or ignoring others' opinions. Rather, it's about cultivating the discernment to know what adds value to our lives and what detracts from it. In embracing this discernment, we create space to focus on our goals, values, and relationships, tuning out the noise that does not serve us and tuning into the quiet wisdom that guides us toward a life of meaning and fulfillment. Measuring success internally is about redefining our personal sense of achievement and fulfillment independent of external validation. In a world that often equates success with status, wealth, or social recognition, it can be challenging to look beyond these metrics and seek a more personal, meaningful measure of accomplishment. Internal success, however, focuses on alignment with our values, growth and character, and a sense of purpose rather than accolades or material gains. When we measure success internally, we honor our unique journey and recognize the progress we make based on our standards and experiences rather than those set by others. One of the key components of internal success is aligning with our core values. These are the beliefs and principles that define what is important to us, such as integrity, compassion, resilience, or creativity. When our actions and decisions reflect these values, we experience a sense of authenticity and satisfaction that cannot be matched by any external reward. For instance, someone who values kindness might find fulfillment in helping others, even if their efforts are not widely recognized. Measuring success by how closely we live in line with our values enables us to lead a life that feels meaningful and true to who we are, even when it does not conform to societal definitions of success. Another essential aspect of internal success is personal growth and self-improvement. Rather than comparing ourselves to others, we focus on our progress, embracing the lessons we learn along the way. This might involve developing emotional resilience, overcoming fears, or building healthier habits. By setting personal goals that challenge and nurture us, we cultivate a sense of accomplishment that is independent of external praise. For example, if someone has struggled with self-doubt and works to build confidence, their success is measured by the courage it took to take those steps, not by how others perceive their transformation. When we evaluate success based on our growth, we foster a mindset of continuous improvement, which fuels long-term fulfillment. Internal success also emphasizes a sense of purpose. Purpose is often what gives our lives meaning and direction, providing a compass that guides us through both triumphs and setbacks. When we measure success by our ability to stay connected to our purpose, we derive a sense of worth from contributing to something that feels bigger than ourselves. This could mean dedicating time to a cause we care about, pursuing a passion, or nurturing relationships that bring joy and support. Success, in this context, is found in our dedication and perseverance, regardless of the tangible outcomes. By focusing on purpose, we create a foundation for success that's stable and resilient, capable of sustaining us through challenges and triumphs alike. An internally defined measure of success is also more adaptable and realistic. Life is full of unexpected twists, and external markers of success can shift or fade due to circumstances beyond our control. But when success is measured by our inner qualities like patience, adaptability, and kindness, it remains accessible and relevant regardless of changing situations. Someone who values patience and consistently works on remaining calm under pressure has succeeded, even if circumstances don't immediately improve. This adaptable view of success helps us navigate life with grace, finding meaning and pride in our responses rather than outcomes alone. Ultimately, measuring success internally allows us to take ownership of our journey. Instead of being swayed by societal pressures or external benchmarks, we become the primary architects of our path, setting goals that resonate with our values and unique aspirations. This approach fosters a sense of fulfillment that is grounded, empowering us to live in a way that is rich in purpose, growth, and self-acceptance. When we measure success from within, we are free to celebrate our journey fully, embracing the progress we make and becoming the people we aspire to be. Consistent self-improvement is a lifelong commitment to growth, learning, and personal evolution. Rather than aiming for perfection or instant success, self-improvement is about making steady, intentional progress in various areas of life. This practice focuses on developing skills, refining our character, and cultivating habits that support our long-term well-being and goals. Committing to consistent self-improvement requires patience, discipline, and a willingness to learn from both successes and setbacks. It's about becoming the best version of ourselves over time, in ways that align with our values and aspirations. One core aspect of self-improvement is setting clear, realistic goals. Goals give us direction, breaking down broad ambitions into manageable steps. By setting specific, achievable goals, we create a roadmap that helps us stay focused and motivated. For example, someone interested in improving their physical health might set goals to exercise 3 times a week, gradually increasing the intensity or duration of their workouts as they build strength and endurance. This approach allows us to see measurable progress and keeps us from becoming overwhelmed. With consistent self-improvement, goals evolve alongside us, adapting to our changing priorities and capabilities. As we achieve one goal, we set another, creating a cycle of growth that keeps us engaged and motivated. Self-reflection is another critical component of consistent self-improvement. Reflection allows us to evaluate our actions, assess our progress, and identify areas where we can grow. Through reflection, we gain insight into our strengths and weaknesses, helping us understand what works and what needs adjustment. This process requires honesty and humility, as it often means acknowledging our mistakes and learning from them, rather than becoming discouraged. For instance, if someone struggles with time management, reflecting on their daily routines may reveal unproductive habits, allowing them to make changes that improve their efficiency. Self-reflection keeps us grounded and accountable, guiding our efforts and ensuring that our self-improvement journey remains purposeful. Building positive habits is essential to consistent self-improvement. Habits are the small actions we repeat regularly, and they can significantly impact our lives over time. By establishing habits that support our goals, we create a foundation for sustainable growth. Positive habits such as reading regularly, practicing gratitude, or setting aside time for personal development reinforce our commitment to self-improvement and make progress feel natural. For instance, someone seeking to improve their mental health may develop a habit of journaling each day, which can help them process emotions and track their progress over time. These small daily actions add up, making self-improvement a part of our routine rather than a sporadic effort. Resilience and adaptability are also crucial in a journey of consistent self-improvement. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable, whether they come in the form of external challenges or personal failures. Developing resilience helps us face obstacles with a growth mindset, viewing them as opportunities to learn rather than reasons to give up. If a setback disrupts our progress, adaptability allows us to adjust our approach without abandoning our goals. For instance, someone training for a marathon who sustains an injury might shift their focus to physical therapy and strength training rather than giving up entirely. By staying adaptable, we maintain momentum in our self-improvement journey, even when circumstances change. Consistency itself is a powerful force in self-improvement. Small, repeated efforts often lead to significant results over time, as consistency compounds progress. Rather than focusing on dramatic, immediate changes, self-improvement thrives on steady, incremental advancements. This approach prevents burnout and builds confidence as we see ourselves achieving milestones, however small. Consistency doesn't mean we won't face challenges or off days, but it encourages us to keep going, reminding us that growth is a journey, not a destination. Ultimately, consistent self-improvement is about commitment and self-compassion. It's a process that encourages us to take responsibility for our lives, embrace growth, and strive for fulfillment. By committing to regular growth, we create a life of purpose and resilience, one where we continually strive to become our best selves. Self-improvement empowers us to approach life with curiosity, openness, and a desire for progress, cultivating a sense of satisfaction that comes from knowing we are always moving forward, learning, and evolving. In conclusion, consistent self-improvement is a journey of dedication, patience, and growth. It's about setting meaningful goals, practicing self-reflection, building positive habits, and remaining resilient through challenges. Each step forward, no matter how small, brings us closer to the person we aspire to be, creating a fulfilling life rooted in purpose and self-awareness. By embracing self-improvement as an ongoing process, we empower ourselves to navigate life with resilience and curiosity, continually evolving and expanding our potential. Ultimately, this journey allows us to live with greater intention and fulfillment, honoring both our achievements and the